High Stakes Poker is a battleground for the game's bravest soldiers.
Everybody's on today.
There you go, Phil. See how lucky you are.
Good action on this season of High Stakes Poker.
For Season 6, a new crop of challengers has come to fight, but on the felt of the Golden Nugget, only a handful can survive.
Find a river to do thunderballs.
Oh!
We'll see massive pots, incredible beats,
It's gonna be the sickest call of all time.
and courageous bluffs,
Why would you bet that much?
leaving a mountain of riches for the victors, and a trail of anguish and devastation for the unfortunate.
How bad are you?
Twice on the river.
You'll need nerves of steel to sit with the best in the world,
Just admit you're a little scared.
God, do it. Why didn't you pull the trigger?
for you won't want to miss the guts and the glory of High Stakes Poker.
Bling blang blow. I got the money now.
I love high stakes.
Hi, I'm Gabe Kaplan, and welcome to High Stakes Poker Season 6. Well, last season, Tom Dwan was the star of High Stakes Poker. He was everything. He was Michael Jackson at the 83 Grammys. He was Secretariat at the Belmont. In fact, he moonwalked his way to the Triple Crown, winning on all 3 sessions. Well, this year it's going to be a little tougher for Mr. Tom Dwan. No more 3-year-old races. This year's field is the Breeders' Cup. Phil Ivey and Dwan will be playing on every episode. In fact, this is the toughest field we've assembled in all 6 seasons of High Stakes Poker. The action should be unbelievable. This season, I have a new co-host, the lovely and talented Kara Scott. Kara will be on the floor with the players, getting their thoughts and opinions. Kara, it seems like we're almost ready to kick off.
Thanks, Gabe. I'm thrilled to be here. I'll be in the High Stakes suite for every hand, watching the action, reporting on the mood inside the room, and getting immediate feedback from the players. I'll be breaking down the biggest pots, the best laydowns, and find out what it's like to sit down in the toughest cash game in town. The lineups we have are incredible, Gabe, and the fireworks are about to begin. I can't wait.
Here is our Breeders' Cup Classic field. Everybody a star. Phil Hellmuth, Phil Ivey from Norway, Andreas Højvold, Daniel Negreanu, Gus Hansen, Tom Dwan, Antonio Esfandiari, and Dario Minieri.
All the money goes in win.
And the players have reached the gate. And they're off! Each player started out with $200,000 except Mr. Ivey and Mr. Dwan, who started out with a cool $500,000 each. Looks like Phil Ivey debated doing something with that 8-5 of clubs, but changed his mind. However, 9-10 of clubs good enough for Andreas to raise to $2,600.
He's up whatever, 30.
Not counting the limit, I assume?
After like 40 minutes or something.
And then Phil Hellmuth's going to make the call with ace-jack.
Check it.
Hellmuth checked before he saw the flop. Andreas has flopped 2 clubs. And he's going to bet $3,600.
We can do 20.
Me and John are studying that.
100's a lot.
See you later, Mr. Hellmuth. Must feel good for Andreas. Watch High Stakes Poker in Norway. Come here, win your first hand. Buy some more shirts at the Army Navy store in Oslo.
I'll take 5 to 1. That's over 2.
We have banned prop bets this season on High Stakes Poker, but Dwan is trying to take 5 to 1 from Phil Ivey on some bet. Maybe it's whether Phil Hellmuth owns a piece of clothing that's not black. I'd take 5 to 1 on that too.
Basically, me and John were both stuck in the 200 range.
Yeah. $4 million straight, and Patrick won like
Raised to 3,100 with Queen Jack offsuit by Mr. Tom Dwan.
Race.
Dario meets Dur.
Dario meets Dur. Godzilla meets Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
Here I come to take your stack. Phil Hellmuth has got ace-queen. He's trying to think what range of hands Dario would raise Dwan with. makes the wrong decision. Throws away ace queen.
You bought in 200, right?
Yes.
Juan calls, so it's the kid from New Jersey versus the kid from Rome. Actually, I think there are more Italians in northern New Jersey than there are in Rome. 3 hearts on the flop. Juan, the only one with a heart. He checks. Dario makes a continuation bet of 12,200. Continuation, making Juan late, keeping him waiting.
The good news is whoever loses 200,000 in this hand, that's the gist of it, is going to have a 2-minute interview afterwards to tell what they were thinking.
Juan calls. He likes the jack of hearts, not in love with it.
I love that. And I'm going to ship my 200,000 because that's inevitably going to happen.
Gus is talking about how brutal it's going to be if you lose 200,000 to have to do an interview right afterwards.
I love high stakes.
Juan checks his flush. Dario checks. Nobody's going to lose 200,000 in this hand. Dario gives up. Pot to Tom Juan.
Good. What did you lay down, sir? I had nothing. Well, show and show wrong.
Ace 10 of hearts.
Yeah, right. What'd you fold? Go. Ace queen.
To my left.
No suit. I had the queen of hearts. I was re-raising Durr, so he'll call me with queen jack, so I might have beat him for like 50.
That easy, huh?
I think now
the 6-7.
first player out.
Durr, I gamble, buddy. We put in 16,000 each when the blinds were 200 the other day. He had 10 jack, I had 9-7 offsuit.
How did that work out for
He
you?
said he was going to
Did you
power
take
to
200?
be the player out.
Are you sure?
And I'm playing just one blind too, so I think the big power to be the first player out.
Phil Hellmuth would have definitely won something from Juan in that pot if he played his ace queen.
There's 16 now?
Not a lot, but it would have been a nice pot for Phil. Hellmuth starting out a little too cautious.
Remember, question your authority again. You're welcome.
Well, he can't be cautious with this ace queen suited. Yes, he can. He's calling the 800 on the button.
He throws them like dice.
Let's see if it works out. Gus making fun of the way Phil Ivey threw his chips in the pot. Phil Ivey not amused.
I'll do that toss back in the good old world poker to a punishment day.
Ivey tries to take down the pot with a $2,000 bet. Hellmuth calls.
I'm still going to use it.
And continuation. Ivey knows that Hellmuth would not call with anything but a king or maybe an open-end straight draw. In this high-stakes poker classic, Phil Hellmuth is 5 lengths behind the rest of the field so far.
With poker, like a lot of things, not everything can be taught. You read the books, you study the players, but sometimes it's just about instinct. So you play and you practice and practice, and one day you don't think it, you feel it. Practice for free at the world's largest poker site, PokerStars.com, and find the poker star in you.
Back for more high-stakes poker.
Just to encourage him, so I'll take 10 of it.
More side bets going on. Gus getting involved in the action.
If I got the bet right, we'll have 10. But
There's some draft then.
basically,
Like I'll show you what
4,000.
But yeah.
Another big ace for Phil Hellmuth.
I trust you.
I've never used it.
Uh-oh.
I've just seen it.
Queens for Phil Ivey, and the smile gradually leaves his face. Not all at once, but just toned it down. Down to business.
all right, I got 20. You talked me into it. I got 20.
Raise 40.
Wow. Phil Hellmuth is getting tired of being pushed around. He thinks Phil Ivey's making a move on him, and he's re-raised 40,000.
Probably 205 in winning the first round. A great play, I might add, so. Might not mess with this one.
You should have you in the booth there, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's pretty obvious that there's only 2 poker players that would. I think.
Phil Ivey's moved all in.
He says all in?
Let me, Mr. Ivy, you moved all in?
He's all in. I'm thinking about making a thin call.
Okay, it's thin. We got some info, guys. It's thin. No matter what it is, it's thin.
I think he might have 8, 9 of spades or something.
He's the best in the world, Phil Hellmuth. What?
I think I might have you, Phil. Let me just...
What?
Oh,
Pretty strong play. You're just trying to play me, I guess.
1-to-1 is over 5, right?
I think Phil Hellmuth's just posturing here. I don't see any way he's calling.
Okay. So then,
All right, good bluff, Phil. I'll give you credit for a good bluff.
show 1.
Show the
Wait.
8 or the 9.
Hey, hang on a second.
Show the 8 or the
Here's
9.
2K to show anything higher than a pair of jacks. Jacks are higher. Here's 2K. Okay, wait.
Anything higher than a pair of jacks?
If you can beat a pair of jacks, I'll give you 2,000.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
You give me 2,000 if I can beat a pair of jacks?
Jacks are better.
Can I just show you? Do I have to show the table?
Yep.
It's not working.
Show the 8, 9. I don't mind, Phil.
I don't like to show these things.
I had ace jack. I was ready. I should have just finished.
Not.
I really did. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't put you on that.
Thought you were a little...
Yeah, you said thin though, so.
I would have been pretty thin. I thought when you raised me it was weak.
I should have made it 5, just so.
I'm ready to play.
You made it 5.
I'm gonna have
I
my...
have to show those aces in.
Thank you.
There's your 50K lunge.
It's okay. I had ace jack or better every other hand so far. And I'm down 50 already.
Which must be nice.
I should have called, I think.
I should have made it 5.
I love it, I mean.
I had you.
You know what? I've changed my mind. I might stay it all day.
How can you leave? Today's the day I'm going to have all my money in with like 9s, like right away. You ready to gamble today? I think the other guy's going to have ace 8 though. Somebody's going to try to outplay me.
That's what we do. That's what we're here for.
I thought that was impossible.
Hey, there's a good one. Straight out of Norway, from Northern Europe over here. Some guy just freaking zang you with one. All right? He said, I thought that was impossible. He goes, someone's going to try to outplay me. He says, I thought that was impossible. From Northern Europe.
From the same hand I had last year.
It doesn't matter whether you were kidding or not, but it was fun. It was
Everybody's
funny.
on today. Everybody's really on.
Yeah, everybody is really on. Everybody is really on Phil Hellmuth, and most of it's in good fun. But I think there was a little too much conversation about the last hand while the hand was going on. After all, Phil did lose $55,000 in the hand.
The wrong straight.
Yeah. That's true.
Wow, big possibilities in this hand. Antonio has the ace-high flush draw. Hellmuth has the king-high flush draw. Both Juan and Gus have pairs and open-end straight draws. Antonio's just going to call 3,800 with his ace-high flush draw. If a spade were to come off on the turn, it's going to be a disaster for Phil Hellmuth. I can't see how he can avoid going broke.
It shows real awareness of the game. 4-3 of spades, gone.
Is that a bar behind there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now you're on there.
You're dead in 2 spots.
Actually, if Gus did have the 3-4 spades, he would be dead in 2 spots. Little too much commentary while the hand is going on. Kind of smallish bet from Antonio. I got to feel Phil Hellmuth is going to raise here. One good thing, at least the table talk has stopped. Phil's got to feel he has the best hand. He's going to slow play it. Didn't want to see Juan go out there. Ten of hearts, nothing changes on the river. Disaster awaits Phil Hellmuth. See how much Antonio bets.
Well, I know one thing. It's an easy call. Let me just think for a second, though.
Any takers? A late 10-1, he doesn't raise.
If you knew his hand, Gus, you wouldn't lay 10-1. But you're right. He just calls. I think most players with Phil's hand would have made a little value raise, and they would have lost more money. Phil Hellmuth happened to lose the minimum on that hand.
Well played, Mr. Hellmuth.
Did I bet 31 or 32?
32.
Oh, I did? Okay. I thought you gave me one, Sean.
Nothing is working for Phil Hellmuth on High Stakes Poker 6.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We had a real interesting hand before we went to break between Phil Hellmuth and Antonio Esfandieri.
I'm so far behind.
Karen caught up with both of them to see what their thoughts are.
Going back to the hand with Antonio, with the second nuts running into the nuts, very bad timing for you, isn't it?
I mean, I was extraordinarily unlucky, especially against Antonio, who's just completely run me over for a long time. I actually feel good that I didn't lose more.
What do you think of Hellmuth's play? Because obviously you make your flush, so does he, and he seemed to lose the minimum there.
Right, I actually put him on a flush. I didn't put him on the king high flush. When he called the turn, I thought he had a monster, and I figured if I check the raise the river, he's not going to call me with a medium flush. But if he has a king high flush, he's going to raise me, and then I can just get it all.
It's such a beautiful situation for me, and I'm only worried about one hand. But because Antonio had limped in the one hole, I thought it possible that he had the ace-6 of spades and I didn't raise.
I think the correct play would have been to check, because either way he was going to bet, and I could have tried to get some more out of him.
So I feel like I played that well, but...
That was a little out of character for Phil, because Phil does love to trap.
I'm going to put the live 6.
But he did sense something in that hand, and he was correct. He did lose the minimum. Speaking about out of character, Phil is doing something really out of character here. He's putting a $1,600 straddle on it. I have never seen Phil Hellmuth straddle voluntarily.
I would have set your line at +1. I would have set his line.
He feels like gambling. I wonder why.
That would be my guess. But I mean, I have no idea. I mean, it's not like I've seen you play a lot, but that would be my guess.
If you're, I thought you.
Andreas loves those suited connector clubs. Going to raise to 3,600. Daniel's not going to play.
That's a little
What is it? 36?
Gus checks his hand again, makes sure he has sixes, and calls the 3,600.
How many hands have y'all played?
Ace King suited for Antonio, coming off that big pot, and he makes it 25,000. Seems like Antonio is going to be content to take the pot right here. I don't know what Andreas is thinking about. Maybe he's reminiscing about how great it was to have the Olympics in Lillehammer.
What was?
Can't possibly be thinking about calling, but I don't know. I'm not that familiar with his game.
Pretty close match. Guess what? After you win this one, you're gonna have to lay more.
Gus checks again. Still sixes. He knows Antonio is not looking for any action.
It's not too convincing.
Just the way I like it.
2 in a row for Mr. Esfandieri.
I'm gonna like pass out.
Or should I say, Dr. Esfandieri.
You're gonna get me for like 200 hands a day, and I'm just not gonna be able to take it anymore. Say, all right,
200 hands?
I'm telling you, I'm gonna just.
That's like 15 minutes.
Dwan telling the table that 200 hands is 15 minutes on the computer. Here, that's all 6 seasons of high stakes poker. Limpy, limpy, limpy. Looks like it's going to be an insignificant hand, but who knows? It's going to be an insignificant hand. Ivy with the best hand bets it. Tom Dwan calls. He's got nasty thoughts in mind here. Should I make my move here or should I wait till the river? I'll make it right here. 7,400.
74.
Phil Ivey gives up. And Phil Ivey's thinking, did he do it to me? He could have had a queen.
You got him.
Or did I get dirred?
George? Oh, hello, darling. You're early. I was just running Miss Stern here through the company's disciplinary procedures. She's new here, in charge of incentives and retribution. It's a new management concept, new and every week boring. Anyway, Mildred, Miss Stern, my wife.
Bad poker face. Doesn't matter when you play online at partypoker.com. It's fun, it's easy, it's the world's largest poker room.
Welcome back to the Golden Nugget and High Stakes Poker. Here's 30 seconds with Kara Scott.
Everyone seems to have an opinion about Phil Hellmuth. It's hard not to. We asked some of our players to describe the poker brat in 10 words or less.
Phil Hellmuth is a crybaby.
Doesn't shut up.
Trying to be the greatest.
The Hellmuth's tall.
Passionate. Fun-loving.
Egotistical. And did I mention egotistical?
A wonderful tournament player.
He's the best player that's ever been. No one is better than him.
Let me just think about that. 10 words or less.
Thank God there's luck, otherwise he'd win every tournament.
Phil Hellmuth is a poker.
Great poker player.
Phil Hellmuth seems to be more popular with the European players. He's like poker's David Hasselhoff. You're really, really talented, Phil. You're really going to be a great poker player. I really like you. Can someone bring a hamburger to the floor over here? Phil Hellmuth raises to 2,000 with the Jack-5 of hearts. Anybody need some dry cleaning done? There's a lot of steam coming off Phil Hellmuth right now. Wow, what a flop. Hellmuth has flopped an open-end straight draw and a flush draw. Phil Ivey has a higher flush draw. Ivey bet 6,000. Phil Hellmuth would be totally justified in raising here. Open-end straight and flush draw.
Raise it.
And he's going to raise.
20.
Phil Ivey going over everything that's happened today as it pertains to this hand. I know for sure he's going to call the 20,000. Good chance he might try to put Phil Hellmuth all in right now.
What are you at?
90.
Phil Hellmuth sounded like a little kid. How much money you got today? 90. Want to buy an ice cream? Maybe. How about if we just shoot some craps? Definitely. Ivey's just going to call. Kings on the turn for Ivey. Quick check. Phil Hellmuth only has 80,000 left. There's already 60,000 in the pot. Hellmuth knows Ivey was in the small blind, just called the 2,000, could easily have a hand like 7-8. He could check and see the river, Or you can try and move Phil Ivey off his hand right here, go all in.
I'm all in.
He's going all in.
Call.
And Phil Ivey calls.
Hold on a sec, let's take a look. Wow. Jeez, that's rough shape. 6 wins.
That is not the hand Phil Hellmuth was hoping to see. Those are the 6 cards you can win with.
Cooler board. You want to deal it 3 times?
Oh, no.
Ivey does not want to deal it 3 times. And no insurance because Phil Hellmuth doesn't have the best hand.
Just straight.
Wow, they both make the flush on the river.
Yeah, man.
Looks like Phil Hellmuth is leaving.
Well, the good news, if you check the turn, you still would lose.
Phil Hellmuth chose to only fire 1 bullet. I don't blame him the way his luck ran today. You're watching High Stakes Poker. As we know, it was not a good day for Phil Hellmuth. He joins Kara to give her his thoughts.
Did you make a conscious decision to come in here today and be a more aggressive Phil, to kind of mix it up a bit?
Not really. I came in with the intent of winning, you know, and to me it's extraordinarily fair. Look, I mean, Phil Ivey, I give him credit. I mean, I think he's a triple threat. He's great in cash games, he's great online, and he's great in tournaments. I give him a lot of credit. But the guy's been extraordinarily lucky against me. And I do think when I have my day against him, I'm going to beat him for $1 million or $2 million. Because I'm not afraid of him, and when it comes to hold him, I'll play with him. So I'll play with him in the cash games and hold him, and I'll play with him in the tournaments and hold him. He doesn't have a bracelet yet. But, you know, there's no doubt he's great in all 3, and he's been very lucky against me so far.
Well, thanks for talking to us, and back to you, Gabe.
Well, it's good to know that Phil Hellmuth just quit this game, but he's not quitting poker.
He's going to be tough right
I was worried for a minute.
He's going to be tough right now, right?
I don't remember anybody, I'll have the producers check, but I don't remember anybody losing 1 bullet and then quitting high stakes poker in the first 5 seasons. Might have happened, but I don't remember. It definitely didn't happen on the first show. Antonio's raised to 2,600 here.
There's no way they win that much.
Phil Ivey and Andreas call.
Raise.
Daniel mistakenly senses weakness and raises to 16-6 and keeps looking at Antonio like he's the only guy I'm worried about. Not even paying attention to Phil Ivey or Andreas. And they both have legitimate hands.
Just found a 3 like 30,000 or whatever. I'm so happy.
Good luck, kindergarten.
Thanks, bud.
And they're both going to call the 16-6. Phil Ivey's hand just became a little more legitimate. He's flopped a set of 4s. Daniel's going to continue his story, bet 25,000. Ivey just calls. I think he's hoping that Daniel has an overpair, and he's trying to represent a jack. Daniel checks on the turn. Gives up, pretty much. Phil Ivey's going to make a bet here. I think he's betting because Daniel could have had ace-king or ace-queen, and he didn't want Daniel to have a chance to draw out.
But ace is the hand before.
Daniel's little adventure there made Phil Ivey a lot more money than he should have made in that hand. Because of how tough this table is, I think Daniel and the other players might mix things up a little bit, try a move like that. The only thing they have to be cautious about is taking it too far. There's the stack sizes. Phil Ivey's up almost $250,000. Juan is even. Antonio's winning about 60. Everybody else losing. And, of course, Phil Hellmuth lost $200,000. Now, Phil Ivey's going to have a mini adventure here where he's into 3,000 with 3-4 offsuit. And it's a double adventure. Daniel's not finished yet. He's making it 15,000 with 10-5 of spades. And it looks like he's picked the right moment this time. He's going to take down the antes and lines and Phil Ivey's 3,000.
Is that the small ball poker thing?
Yeah, that's the other version.
Welcome back to the Golden Nugget. Now let's join Daniel Negreanu for this week's PokerStars.net Did You Know?
All right, they say the dead man's hand is aces and eights. Well, did you know that may not even be the hand that Wild Bill had? Someone probably just made it up just to get famous. The first record of a real dead man's hand came from the Grand Forks Herald. That's a newspaper in North Dakota. In 1886, they printed that 47 years earlier, some judge had lost his house holding jacks full of tens against queens full. Sick cooler. The guy fell dead right there holding his cards. And that's why the real dead man's hand is jacks full of tens.
That's very interesting. We've got a lot of dead man's hands in poker. Joe the Boss, when he got shot in Coney Island sometime around 1930, was supposed to be holding the ace of spades. They wanted to kill Joe the Boss in Coney Island. Didn't have to shoot him. They could have just put him on a cyclone. Two legitimate hands here. Ace-6 of spades, ace-jack of clubs. Gus has got an inside straight draw on no spades. And Ivey's going to be drawn to the nut flush. Continuation, 5,600. Ivey weighing his options. Picks option 1. Raises to 23,000. Probably hoping Gus has something. But Gus doesn't have much. Maybe Gus is contemplating something here. Be the wrong time. Nope. Gus releases.
I watched all the HighStakes poker season, and I've never seen one so aggressive. Maybe the one with Sammy Farr and Patrick Antonius.
What is it, this one you mean?
Yeah. So many bets and raise. Maybe this is the most aggressive one.
I don't know.
The one with more action.
You watch them all, huh?
Yeah, I watched all.
Dario says Sammy was the most aggressive. I want you to notice, Dario, Sammy did not play last year. It's not playing this year.
You whisper
Nobody
bad.
understands you when you whisper. Nobody.
I was just asking him because he knew him, so I wasn't sure.
Antonio's got an interesting look. He's got his sleeves rolled up, almost like he's wearing scrubs. And he's not doing surgery here. He's got a legitimate hand, ace-jack of spades.
It kind of feels like a tournament, so
Yeah.
Exactly what I wanted.
Really?
Small and big blind.
2 fish cakes somewhere.
Gus and Dirk calling. And Gus flops the best hand.
How are you going to beat me out of something?
You got to do it at 7 o'clock in the morning?
We can play till, if it was 7, we could play probably
9 holes?
36 holes. Maybe.
What we're playing here tomorrow?
1 o'clock.
And Gus finally bets the best hand. And everybody releases immediately. Tune in 7 o'clock in the morning. We'll be live from that golf game.
We play for big pots, small stakes, and the chance to say, read 'em and weep. For the weekends, the all-nighters, and the lunch hour. We play for the legends and for the unknowns who dream of winning it all. For the bad beats and the pocket kings we sometimes have the sense to fold. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
We're back for more high-stakes poker.
All right. No, I asked him if he's been golfing. I said I haven't golfed at all lately. And I was like, I said it naturally, but I just golfed all week with Patrick.
Yeah, officially.
It's just a natural thing, you know. You all.
See, the thing was, I had a list.
It's a good time to get caught doing that too.
Yeah, right.
I had a list of honest golfers left in Vegas, and the two of us were the only one on the list, but I have to strike you now.
No. It was just a force of habit. But, I mean, I haven't golfed well.
Whatever you say, Daniel.
Yeah, there's only
Daniel
one
realizing he's been around Vegas golf too much.
He's tired from the golf course.
Meanwhile, back to this hand, Phil Ivey raised with 10-9 offsuit, and Dr. Esfandiari called with ace-7 of diamonds.
4 rounds in 2.5 years. I might have played like 5 or 6.
That's more than me. But you're down more though.
Top pair for the doctor, middle pair for Phil Ivey. Check, check. 2 pair now for Phil. Throws in a 5,000 chip about as casually as you can. Antonio calls. Antonio checks his aces.
That was like, even though that's not
3 $5,000 chips.
Because of how hard it was.
Yeah.
Phil Ivey hoping Antonio has exactly what he has.
The tips, man, for the stuff.
It's like the very back.
Antonio calls. Phil Ivey. Hard to bet into him. Hard not to pay him off. Antonio's thinking, how could I have played that hand better? What could I have done?
See, I can hit it nice and high. With those rescue clubs. I love those things. It's like cheating. Yeah, like the hybrids. Oh gosh, they're so good. I have 3.
How come me and Danny scrambled?
Against me and Christian?
Yeah, what would you guys
Well, how long is Danny? Look, I mean, that's the problem.
Same length as Christian, probably.
How long is Danny is a golf question, referring to how long someone could hit their drive. More golf talk going on.
Me and Christian against you two? I don't know.
It's just worth it. You got to give us the best of it because we're going to be yelling at each other after. Like,
That's the funny part, yeah. That's worth it.
Remember, I mean, when making this match, you have to consider that you haven't been playing for a while.
Exactly.
This is the beginning of a golf negotiation.
I don't know, but it depends really if Danny's that long. If he is, and it's close, I think.
As everybody talks about how long Danny is, Phil Ivey has left another set.
I just can't imagine Danny being serious in a golf match. I know he must be.
Andrea's going to make a move at the pot.
I've never seen a guy without.
Daniel correctly doesn't believe that he has a big hand, so he calls here to probably try and take the pot away on the turn of the river. However, 20,000 from Phil Ivey and his 3 6s. And that should be the end of this. Uh-oh. It looks like Andreas has some devious thoughts about this hand. Boy, is his timing off.
Oops.
That's the end of you.
Yeah.
Daniel out of the way.
That one.
Andreas is saying, all right, step back, boys. I show you how we deal with the bullies in Northern Europe here.
Must have started with around 200.
Phil Ivey's probably putting Andreas on ace-king.
You don't have to count the reds.
Okay, thank you.
Well, come on, Lane.
Well, that'll be the end of that. Phil Ivey went all in. If he really put Andreas on ace-king, if he just called, Andreas might have fired another bullet. This is the second time Phil Ivey flopped the set and got a little present from somebody. This show has been all Phil Ivey. He's up over 330,000. He had some big hands, and he had the mystique of being Phil Ivey.
Next time on High Stakes Poker, Elia Lesra joins the party.
Who's here?
Oh, boys.
Now you're here to earn.
What's going on in this game, man?
Norway's Andreas Heuvel gets busy.
I'm not folding.
The Great Dane picks up steam,
I'm all in.
trying to outdo Ivy and Dwan. And one of these players will go all in and follow Phil Hellmuth out the door to the land of Busto.
Oh, yeah. How could I not beat ace?
For 1 million right here.